In this session, we're going to discuss contras in the system. Contras are done under the accounting. So what is a contra? A contra just simply means we're going to move money from a receivable to a payable, or from a payable to a receivable. So it allows you to credit the opposite side of the general ledger is what it's doing. Now, the nice thing about a contra in here is the fact that the system actually does all the back end general ledger adjustments for you automatically. So let's go look at a typical contra here. So I'm going to go pull up a receivable account, and we have a fella here named Mr. Blue. And he has an invoice for $762.32. Now I want to take this invoice, the value of this invoice, and apply it against a payable account. So the way you do that is you're just going to simply go up here to make a payment and click on Contra. So whenever you do this, you're going to select the date you want to make this happen. Now again, if I go look, you see this is a pretty old invoice here. It was posted on 4/29, so I can backdate it if I wish. And then I'm going to say which payable account I want to select it to go to. So I'm going to go search for the payable. So I'm going to switch this over to Good Parts on Time. I'm going to go look for them. There they are. And then I'm going to select that invoice. Now, it doesn't matter if there's one invoice that's selected or multiple invoices. You can select whatever you need. You can even overwrite the dollar amount. Maybe I only want to do part of this. I certainly can. So once I hit OK, you'll notice, see, it's crediting that amount that I'm contraing. And if I go over to my payables and I go look for that payable, we'll see here at the bottom, there is that credit. Now I can apply this credit, to this account when I'm reconciling or whatever I'm going to do with it. So you can do the exact same thing in reverse. You can take an invoice from here or a credit or whatever and move it over to a receivable account. Do it either way. If I want to move something from here, I just click on Contra and do the same thing. Now, typically, most people that use this are going to be people that barter back and forth. But another reason they're going to use this quite a bit is for national accounts. So I might be buying tires from a tire manufacturer like Michelin or Goodyear or something like that. But I also work on national account vehicles, and I'm going to put those invoices on a receivable. So when I get my statement from that national account for my tires, they typically would credit my bill. So how would that work? Here's an easy way to make that happen. So I'm going to go over to my contacts, and we're going to go look up my national account. Now I have one here called ATD. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the contact, go to details, and you'll notice here under accounting, I have a payable account set up with them. So what I'm going to also do is set up a receivable. Now I'm going to give them a limit. Let's just say it's $10,000. You can even do statements here if you want. You don't have to. But what I want to do is I want to tell the system which accounts are going to be national accounts. So here I'm going to go to Associated. I'm going to go to Add, and I'm going to go search for them. So I have a company that comes in called Fred's. So periodically I'm going to do tires and stuff for these guys and put it on a receivable that's going to be applied to my bill. So I'm going to click, I'm going to hit select. So now I have them associated here. So we'll close this up. Now, what you'll notice in the accounting here, now I'm going to go look in payables. I have ATD. There's my payable account. Here's a big bill I got. Okay. Now let's go look at receivable side. ATD. See, there's nothing in here yet. So Fred's comes in. Let's go to a work order here. Let's say he came in and bought some tires or whatever from me. I'm going to open him up. We have the job on with the tires. We have the total amount. You notice down here it says account limit. That's what we can do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to post this off. And we're going to put it on account. So whose account does this go on? This goes on ATD's account. See, I never set up an account for Fred. It was for ATD. And I associated Fred to it. So I hit add, hit next, and we'll invoice this out. Now that's done. So let's go back over, counting. We'll go look for ATD here. There's that invoice. See, it was for Fred's appliance. So I received my bill, and they're going to credit my bill this amount or part of the amount, whatever it's going to be. So at that point here, I'm going to take this Contra, and I'm going to go look for ATD. Select what I want to take over there. Now I might have 4, 5, 6, 7 invoices from all kinds of different accounts in here. It doesn't matter. You're just going to select what you want to send over. Hit OK. See, now I've wiped this out. And when I go over to the payable, and I go look for ATD, there's the credit. See, so that's going to be credited against my bill. That's how Contra works. Now, it can be always the same, just like I did with ATD, or it could be two totally different. Does not matter to the system. You're just picking what receivable goes to what payable and vice versa.